Well, the top side streets are a dangerous place, so you better tune in to a credible face like this one. Yeah, this one. And you know he's not alone, and they're coming in hot. We got a Lake so Stan and a guy who really likes baseball. I don't know why he likes baseball.
What's up, everybody? Ooh, I feel like my camera is a little too close. Let's back it up. Let's back it up. Nope, the other way. The other way. All right, maybe that's a little bit better. Yeah, we don't need to be full zoom on a Friday. You know what I mean? Lighting's different. Ooh, Square Bear in the house. Let's go, Square Bear. All right, let's see who we got here. See Ghostface Drilla in the house. Should have saved my UFC packs to open them. Yeah, I'm gonna open my UFC packs here in a little bit. Oregon, shout out Rowdy Rods here. Federico, Deep Threat. Damn, son. Listen, I've been waiting. I've been waiting for it to happen. So I'm assuming now is the window where it will. So I hope it moves through quick, and I hope it's limited damage for you. But I imagine it's gonna rip through the people that were in Vegas this week. But hope you're feeling better, my man. Tandy, guys, I won't have any slander about the theme song. All right. And just for the record, everybody was too much of a coward to do it until Overzet did it. Now, all of a sudden, everyone feels comfortable. Well, guess what, puss bags? Patrick Coins here. Foster, what's going on here for the mental checks? Borland's here. Poker Pro Eric. Jimmy Peacock on the lunch break. Garen's here. We the Peeps. Jordan. Brandon Lamb. DC1. Yes. Milo's here. Big Ticket. Good to see everybody. Like the stream. Do all of that shit. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to rip my UFC packs in a little bit. We'll talk about the spaces. I don't think we got too much information from the spaces that was new, but it was definitely like, again, the positive vibes, baby. The positive vibes. It's good. And then we will, I'll show you what I've been buying today. And on the NFL Day streets. And then our man James is going to come on and we are going to shoot the shit a little bit about F1. We'll have some fun with that. I wanted to share something though. There's a couple of, you might have seen it on Twitter or in the Discord, but we've been doing this for like a year and a half now, I think. And what's been really cool is watching the community grow over the time. And like a lot of new faces have come in. A lot of people have stuck around. Other people have been like, Deuce, this guy sucks. And I understand both. But there were a couple members who have been here from the beginning. Our man Whirlybird and Randa Run. And they've been here like truly since day one when there was like 6 people watching me and Greg on like shitty cameras and weird headphones and stuff. And I know they are dealing with some stuff right now. They have some family and health stuff going on right now. And anything that we can do as a community to support, I'd love for us to be able to do. Obviously, this isn't something that anyone needs to do. But if you have a little extra, whether it's just like a couple of moments or a couple of funds that you're willing to part with, or even if it's just like some emotional support and some love, heading their way to Whirlybird and to Randa Run, I'm going to drop a link right now to 2 things. I'm going to drop a link to the GoFundMe that they're doing to raise some funds for the medical situation. And then I'm also going to drop the Top Shot handle as well. Again, I'm not trying to peer pressure anybody into doing anything. Just if you have a little something else that you can give back, it's nice that as a community, we can come together and like support the people that are going through some stuff. Because listen, you never know when it's going to hit you. And when it does, it's nice knowing you got a team behind you. And if there's one bit of good that we can do as a group, I would be honored if it's something like this versus telling people when to buy things and when to sell things. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this the GoFundMe into the chat right now, and then I'm also going to drop the make sure that did it right. Okay, and then I'm also going to drop the Top Shot handle, even if it's just a moment or whatever. I'm going to throw that in there. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know Randa Run was here, and this is for our girl Randa Run, who will listen. We're praying for you, for sending all the good love in the world, and we're rooting for you guys. We're rooting for you guys. So yeah, the world is bigger than Top Shot. You're absolutely right. All right. We'll keep posting on that. What's going on? I'm seeing people tweeting at Square Bear. What's going on? I'm definitely going through the footage. That's right. So Square Bear was out there in Vegas doing a lot of footage. There's a lot of footage happening out there. So shout out Square Bear for capturing it. Looking forward to seeing what that's going to look like. It's going to be good stuff. Good stuff. So I don't know. Spaces happened today. Jacob, the most patient man in the world. He was, after every single question, I tweeted out a joke around this that, hey, listen, I'm going to plug my own tweets right now. That was just kind of like Top Shot Spaces question. Hi, Jacob. I've been thinking a lot about previous intimate relationships I've had, and I'm wondering if those experiences will be rewarded when it comes to locking and leaderboards. Yeah, great question. Great question. It was incredible that Jacob was able to maintain that kind of world, that whole that kind of patience throughout that entire thing. But there were some really good questions in there. Some of the takeaways that we got, it looks like the team leaderboards are coming sooner rather than later. The team checklist, that is. We'll also, I believe, by the end of July, have a feel for what the rewards are going to be, or at least the first reward is going to be. He mentioned that player sets are coming. The player sets are coming soon. What else? The player leaderboards. The other thing that I thought was cool, DJ Local in the house, longtime collector, first time spacer. The other thing I thought that was cool is they're finally going to be able to get the WNBA leaderboards up there soon, as well as being able to pick two favorite teams, an NBA team and a WNBA team, because for the most part, also Sun behind the clouds now. For the most part, you could only do one, right? You could only pick one, and now you're going to be able to be like a Celtics fan and a Liberty fan. Also, people were asking about the jersey earlier. Here you go. You get some no dunks, baby. Some no dunks representing. But yeah, so I don't know. Anything else from the spaces that you guys saw? I didn't really. Yeah, when will you make my all-star rare set pump? Yeah, I agree. It was, it's gonna happen every time you turn it on. You're gonna get a couple of weird things. But overall, I think where the sentiment's still rolling, right? It seems like we still got positive vibes all over the place. We get a first sip of the day, first blue point. First blue point. Yeah, we're gonna do Blue Point Summer today. Actually, let's get a giveaway going too. We're not doing any giveaways yet. Let's get this fired up. So the other thing that I've been doing today, snagged a couple more all day moments. I'm having fun with that. I don't even know what I'm doing. But I'm having fun with it. Just kind of getting my little fantasy stuff together, getting that ready. Thank you for the ad, Mike. No Dunks, very own Jay Skeets on the stream with Not a Virgin Tandy Man on Sunday. Yeah, hey Tandy, that great get, man. I'm excited to see Skeets come on. That'll be a good one. So tune into Tandy. Tune into Tandy. You know what I'm saying? Are you talking faster than normal, or is it weed? Am I talking fast? I don't know. I might be talking fast. I've had a busy day today. I've been like a show this morning. It's just been a lot's been going on. I didn't think I was going to be ready in time for the show. I was rushing around. Hadn't showered yet. Finally got a shower in. Yeah, there we go. I know. I've been taking a while for the AD. Let's get the giveaway going here. I'm purposely going to talk slow. Hashtag all day. Get it cooking. Get it popping in there. So you're going to like the stream, subscribe, throw hashtag all day into the chit chat. Qualify for a giveaway. And I don't know what it's going to be. Borland yesterday won James Harden Seeing Stars. We never know what it's going to be. So there you go. Hashtag all day. Subscribe, like the stream. We'll do that towards the end of the show. I know you guys are going to leave and then come back, but whatever. I'll go over to all day, show you I'll show you my account. Babies. This is at like $200 yesterday. So, and it's not because I'm just buying good shit. It's mostly because, it's not because I'm just buying, not because of the stuff I bought already is mooning. It's because I'm just buying stuff. So we're up to 48 moments. I think we're at like 26 yesterday. So let's do the purchase date. Let's sort by the purchase date. All right. These are all packs, whatever. Here we go. So been scooping some tight ends, some Albio, some Darren Waller, trying to get those fantasy guns ready. I picked up a Kyler Murray today, Marquise Brown, get that stack going. We had a little Debo, T. Higgins. Mike Evans has been my only buy that like absolutely went nuts. Justin Jefferson, too. That was yesterday. Austin Eckler. Again, some more Waller, Albie, Gabriel Davis, Keenan Allen, Smith, all those guys. What are you guys doing right now? Are you guys out there buying NFL all day? It seems like people are buying because everything's in the green right now. Alberto, great value. Let's go. Although Russell Wilson isn't really known for hitting the tight ends, but Poker Pro Eric said, so how did the final? Yeah, so I played in the Jolly Joker poker tournament last night. I don't remember how the final hand went. I think I had like ace six of diamonds. I was like way behind, but I didn't have anything left. So we just had to get it in. I lost a pretty big flip for like 125K, I think, with pocket sixes to. There wasn't even a flip. Pocket sixes to ace four, and an ace came on the river. And that was, so I think I finished like 19th, 20th, something like that. Fenny's selling. Okay. Big tickets buying the rares. We the people scooping the rares. I already did my common debut shopping early. There you go. Yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying it. Now that and I've said this before, man. It's really hard for me to focus on two different things. Like when I take the basketball, I take the hoopy hoops seriously. And so it's hard to be so locked in with that and then start dipping around, when you're making content around it. That is, it's hard to do both. So now that it's over, it's a little bit easier for me to fire away. But let's open some packs, huh? Should we go max packs here? Or should we open some max packs? Thomas is stacking, also keeping some dapper for next drop. Got 4 sets to keep completed. There you go. Michael Shuchuk said new Rise with Us challenges. Is that right? Here we go. Oh, Rise with Us. I was thinking it was the Giannis movie. Here we go. With 8 required moments to get a Marina Mabry. There we go. That'll be nice. That'll be nice for the weekend. Stubbs in the house. Good to see you, Stubbs. Milo's buying quarterbacks. All right, I haven't touched quarterbacks really. I've got a Herbert, Mac Jones. I think I have a Derek Carr. I think that's kind of it right now. I haven't been focusing on quarterbacks yet. Yeah, I pointed this out the other day. Just noted, like that's huge, right? It looks slick seeing the locked moments. So if you're looking at your account valuation on Top Shot and you're scrolling your moments, you'll see a little lock button next to it if you had locked it. And I love that. I've noticed a lot of the all day guys who didn't do Top Shot put more value in rares and less value on debuts. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I mean, commons are commons, rares are rares. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's rip some of these. So I was able to get 2 packs. They had a little bit of an issue with the queue. Did you guys get packs today? They had a little bit of an issue with the queue. So I was 897th in line, I think. And I got my pack and then I jumped back in line. And instead of taking me to the queue, it immediately took me back to checkout. So I was able to get 2 packs right away. And then I just tried to jump in line a third time to see what happened. So it cut me. I like cut everybody in line. I was all of a sudden like top 800 again. I couldn't get a third pack though. I could not get a third pack. But that's okay. Let's rip these. So here we go. Some UFC action. These were $10. The UFC London pack. Did you see Jeb's pack today? Had 3 Molly meatballs, which was pretty. It was pretty nice since you need that for the challenge. I didn't share with Sound, but I'm vibing over here. Here we go. I forgot to like it doesn't really. Ooh, we got 2 Molly McCanns. We'll take it. Those are challenge. You need them for the challenge, baby. 2 Molly McCanns and a Bryce Mitchell. No serial fun. But we should be happy with that, right? 2 Molly McCanns. We should be happy with that. I like that. I hate the reveal all too. I'm with you, Big Ticket. Dustin somewhere is like clapping, but I'm with you. I don't like that either. Here we go. Number two. Let's vibe. Let's get a champion moment. Let's get one. Come on, baby. One time. Oh, we got an Espinal, though. We'll take that, right? We'll take an Espinal. Molly's going for $3. Shit, bro. What about Chami, though? Is Chami Espinal going? He must be doing well. I think. Good God, I think. There we go. I'll take it, though. I'll take it so we spent $20. Let's see what let's go to the market. See what's going on over here. It's been 27. All right, so it's a W. McCann, you said is going for $3. Ooh, $2 now. What's the other dude I had? I knew I had a Frivola in there for $3. All right, whatever. Dubs Central. Somebody asked too, excuse me, what that blue pack was. That is the free hype NFT that they did. So this is the free hype NFT. This is the one. So this is out of 43,000. The last style bender. This is pretty sick. So if you guys don't know, no, the blue's not rare. The blue's not rare. D-Thread said just got 3 pins in a Seuss pack. So who's really winning now? D-Thread, you're still buying Seuss packs? I mean, man, Seuss has been a tough situation over there. I'm having a tough time with old Susie. They just adjusted their marketplace so that you can now sell things for less than $10. But it is a nightmare trying to move stuff around over there. And you can only do it on desktop, right? Unless they've updated the app yet, but it is tough. Jay Webb in the house. Let's go, Jay Webb. We're going to get Jay Webb on here soon. Talk some foosball. Shark Week and Inspector Gadget NFTs. Raptor News, did you get a Nickelodeon one? Those ones are like pumping, right? The Nickelodeon NFTs. We're back to NFT summer. Seuss has had packs for sale last few times I looked. Yeah, no, I mean, no one's doing more, no one is doing more supply pushing than Seuss right now. I mean, it's just every day I feel like I get a notification. It's like pack drop, baby. Not for me though. Not for me. Although I have a shit ton of them. I'll move off all of them too. Like if there was an easy way to just like transfer my account, I'd be deuces. Did anybody get those Nickelodeon NFTs? I thought it's funny. We saw all these like NFTs come from like Kevin Hart and Bill Murray and whoever, and they were all failing pretty hard. So when Nickelodeon came out with one, I was like, well, here comes another L. But it makes sense that the NFT bros are like, give me some Nickelodeon, give me some slime, give me some Gek. Because that was like their nostalgic piece, right? I imagine that's where that's coming from. But I don't know. What else you guys want to do? Anything else that we're excited about this weekend? Are we buying anything? Kelsey just left. She's going to Massachusetts for a makeup trial before the wedding. So that's going to be good. So I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend, boys. We might do 72-hour stream, 72-hour straight stream. Maybe we'll do that. Should I enter a global poker tournament right now and just stream that while I play? So we have something. James is going to be coming on in like 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to shoot the shit about the F1 and the most recent race, and then what we got coming up this weekend. And I'm just going to talk about how Ferrari's back, baby. Ferrari is back, baby. So we'll have that. That'll be coming up shortly. Rowdy Rod wants a Top Shot Tony take. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I have any. I don't know if I have any good Tony takes right now. Oh my God, buy some Theta packs. No, dude. If I actually was able to withdraw some Theta stuff, I don't know what the hell I sold. Raptor News, let me see what the temperature is, because if you're trying to get me to go to Brooklyn on a rooftop on a Sunday night, it better be like in the 70s, bro. It is going to be 97 Raptor News. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sign me up for the Double Dare. There we go. Harvey here with more financial advice. Did anyone ask JBB why he hit golf clubs with a condom on? That was hilarious. For those that saw footage of that at Top Golf, it was hot, man. It was really hot. It was like over 100, and we were swinging some balls. And he needed like this. It was like a rag almost. It was pretty funny. All right, what else? Yeah, I wish you were recording that. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys wanted to? I was kind of planning on just like shooting the shit a little bit about like the Top Shot spaces. That was the initial plan, but there wasn't really too much that came of that was like noteworthy. It does feel it feels like everyone thinks they're in good hands right now. Do you know what I mean? There seems to be a little bit more trust based on their recent actions of what's been happening. And it seems like everybody's on board with what the direction it's going. Even if you don't like fully agree with something, there seems to be like way more trust around the decision-making, which in turn brings a little bit more patience to everything. Right. And that's like the vibe that I got from listening to people's questions. AG was weirdly silent today. So that's usually the barometer of how pissed people are. So I don't know. Where. Well, for those of you that listened in, like, what were your takes from that? Because that was really the only thing I came away with. I was like, wow, they do seem to be in like a pretty good place. I guess we'll see once like the rewards start coming out how that changes things. Oh, there we go. Poker Pro Eric, Poker Pro Eric. So do you go to every team thing? Like if the Knicks, I don't know what they call themselves, bad. If you go to the bad meetup, would you go to New York for that? Also, the lighting keeps changing. It's making me look like I have jaundice right now. Every time the sun goes up, my lighting change. The Nickelodeon thing is wild because most recurve products have sucked. I know. It's wild. I'm also not used to making money on NFTs. So it's just weird seeing people make money, making money. Mike G, think about what you're saying right here, man. Think about what you're saying. I'm gonna adjust my lighting in real time here because this does feel like I need to go see somebody. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I mean, now, what if we do this? Oh, we should go blue? How about that? This is just shutting the lights off. So this is what I look like with no lighting. This is if we go full, though. Full. Let's go full. Oh, that's kind of nice, right? Sunset. This is romantic. This is romantic. I might leave this a little bit. What if we do this, though? Oh, now tan. Full. Whoa. You can tell they're bright because you can see it off the back of the poster over there. Anyways, whatever. Moment. Why are we just taking shots at Moment, right? Well, yeah, it's because it's called the Collective now. I know it's true. I really haven't. I will say though, like let's look at the markets right now. We'll go over to OTM, the official sponsor. Let's start with the NFL all dizzle. And just to remind the people, hashtag all day for a giveaway. Like the stream, subscribe, hashtag all day. Jose said you got 4 Nickelodeon packs. Let's just say I feel like that SpongeBob meme with his pinky up. Wow, Jose. Did you flip everything? All right, so get that all day in. All right, let's go over here. Let's look at the moments. All right, so let's see what's pumping in the last 24 hours. Basically, it's stuff that John Boy Beats tweeted about, but I wanted to actually look at sets just because I feel like it's easier to get a feel for it. And let's do the 7 days. So you can see Showtime up here. We get some. So the rare moments are moving the most, right? Showtime locked in, launch codes. And I feel like you can use rare a little bit more to, you know how like sometimes when a legendary moment gets bought, all of a sudden it goes nuts. That's not exactly the case with the rares, right? Because there's more rares to go around. So all of those are up in the 20% tiles. Then there's some historical moments are up a little bit. Ins the trenches. So rare. Well, okay, we got rare, rare, rare. Historical, also rare, rare, rare. So the top 6 sets that are up this week are rares. Followed by, then you get the base common, some more rares, common, historical. So the rares are definitely moving the most right now. Ooh, Kevin Forge in the house. Kevin Forge, a programming note. I think Tuesday night, if all is well, and we can do it. Let me just double check to see if there was an update in the Discord of Playback. We were hoping that the Commissioner's Cup is going to get streamed on Playback next week. So get excited for that on Tuesday. All right, let's go back over here. But that I like pretty much all across the board. This is up. Let's go over to NBA Top Shot for a second. We'll do the same thing. Whoopsie daisy. Let's go to the market. Let's look at sets, and we'll look at the week. The week that was squad goals. That one doesn't count. They keep adding more moments. Cool Cat started to pump again. That's interesting. I wonder if people really enjoyed that brunch. If people really enjoyed that brunch in Vegas, and they were like, not enough people in the Nine Lives Lounge. We got to pump it up. Then let's see. The playoff moments are up. Really? What are you guys doing? That one's up. Hustle and show. So we're seeing some sets go up mostly as things get locked, I would imagine. And then base set series 1. Why is base set series? Oh, this is LeBron. This is 100% because of LeBron. Ready? Here we go. Let's look at 24 hours. So Derrick Rose, but that's not really moving the needle. Let's look at the 7-day. Harry Giles. Okay, so the bottlenecks are all starting to move again too. That's part of it. There's the LeBron though. 725. That's not the LeBron I thought it was. But that LeBron James moment, when we look at all of the moments from low ask, you're going to see this is going to be like, yeah, just almost double. No, it is double the next one. The LeBron is double the next one. Travis says, Mike, any chance Team Hold could do a poker night? You know what? We used to do them. Our man, a deep threat. I got guys. The lighting in here is insane. I can't figure out what's going on. I look like, unless this is what I look like, and now I'm concerned. But yeah, our man, a deep threat, was running them for a little bit. We ran into a couple of issues with it. But we'll be doing it again. I'm sure we'll do something again similar, because we had a lot of fun doing the Jolly Joker poker night the other day. That was great. So would love to be doing that a little bit more. Let's go, Josh. Let's go. What else we got? Nine Lives Lounge will be offering an incentive to lock the set. I love that. I love the set locking thing is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. There we go. You get it. The user Team Hold on GG Poker. That really was like, the poker thing was fun. I love having that. Kevin, this is a great question. So yesterday, I'll tell a little story before we move on. Yesterday, last summer I was in a little indie film, and they're in the process of editing, and they had to they had to shoot something else, and it was just me. They just had to reshoot some of my like a one shot with me, and then had to do some voiceover stuff. And that was the only thing I had to do to leave the house that day. The only thing I had to do. All of a sudden, I get a ping from Fenny that is like, hey man, shit's getting weird. Weather's on your way, which is weird that Fenny knows how long it's going to take for weather to get to my house. But then Bandy, like 5 minutes before it starts, and Bandy doesn't react to weather either. He's like he doesn't give a shit really about anything except for children, which he doesn't like. All of a sudden he comes over and he's like on me. He's like, dude, what's going on? What's going on? We're going to talk about this. What's happening? And then all of a sudden the skies opened up. It was insane hail. Insane hail came down. It was like the loudest thunder and lightning storm that I've heard in a long time. But it was within like the 10-minute window where I needed to get out. And it was terrible. I showed up. I almost had to shower when I got there. It was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. But the weather was really weird yesterday, and the dog didn't love it. And then I felt bad leaving the dog right after something like that happens, But he really doesn't care. There's Fenny, my Doppler radar kid. Fucking unreal, bro. Also, Fenny, no one spells Boston accents better than Fenny. Fenny, this is the best. This is the best. Mike's face looking like an extra from The Wire. For real. Maybe that's what it was. How many Jolly Jokers are you getting, Mike? I don't know. I think I won a whitelist spot, or a allow list, whatever we're calling it. I won a pre-mint spot. And then I also pre-minted. I burned a TOC moment. I could see myself talking myself into 3. I do not. Let me play the fucking drop. Where's the financial advice drop? Because none of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do. Something like that, right? Yeah, I think, listen, unless you're a diehard best ball fiend, love fantasy sports, I would not mint 3. All right, that's my take. But I do kind of want to get into that other contest, so I'm a little bit. Yeah. That I know that is a tough scene, right? But again, the 1 makes sense, because if you're trying to go after, the what's it called, the premium, it makes a little bit more sense. Kevin says getting called on the reshoots of The Wire in 2022 is like getting a sorry we didn't hire you after a job interview later. Yeah, that is. I'd still take it though. I'd still take it. All right, we're gonna pivot on to our next segment. We're excited to talk about some F1. Before we do that though, go ahead. Just reminder: hashtag all day, like the stream, subscribe, and then we're gonna get into that. We'll give something away towards the end of the show. We'll see what other chaos we get into, but excited. I feel like we haven't talked about F1 in a few weeks because my schedule didn't allow it, and then we didn't have a race when we were in Vegas. We're gonna bring James back on. James, what's going on, man?
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good. I'm going to give you the same treatment that Greg gives me sometimes when our screens are like this, and I'm going to move you over. Put you in charge of our F1 season.
All right. So, yeah. But yeah, the thing on the I had the interesting run-in with the UFC thing where I I don't know what happened there. So I put in a support ticket. I'll see what happens with it. So
Yeah, hopefully they either like put you first in line for the next drop or something like that. Because I know you
yeah,
are one of many that ended up with that issue, and I know I'm someone who benefited from it because of like how quick. Because when I saw there were like 6,500 people in line, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, even though I'm in the top 1,000, I'm probably not getting a second pack. But I
right.
was like, I'll get in line and see where I'm at. And then for it to immediately take me to checkout. And then I saw other people who were like skipping the line too. So I'm sure they seem to be pretty responsive when stuff hits the fan, that they'll figure
Yeah,
something out. But
yeah, hopefully,
man,
yeah. I mean, I can't really complain. The only legendary pack that I got in Top Shot was due to a bug early on where when they I think it might have been before you joined, where they had a bug one time where if you'd been in the drop the previous night, you went
yes,
to the front of the queue for the legendary drop the next morning.
that was our first stream.
Oh,
That
was
was
it?
our first
Okay.
stream ever. Was that because I made the queue, like I would have gotten a pack, and Greg, who I was streaming with, hadn't refreshed the cookies or whatever, so he
Yeah.
immediately checked out, and I was like, what the hell is going on? So that was our first one.
Yeah.
Our first one. Also, I'm seeing Top Shot Tesla saying can't catch the show live anymore. Chat is kind of booty now. Is a makeup fitting just part 2 of the bachelorette party? Maybe Top Shot Tesla. Maybe. Good to have you back in there, man. All right, let catch me up on some F1. I feel like I
All right.
definitely watched the last race, but it feels like it was so long ago that it's like bits and pieces in my head now.
Yeah, 2 whole weeks. Plus, the Vegas thing probably kind of
Set you
fragmented
back.
the memory a little bit, Mike, possibly.
Absolutely set you back.
All right. So the Austrian Grand Prix up in the Osterreichling, home the Red Bull. This is, because Red Bull is, with all their connections, is part Austrian, part Thai.
Mhm.
And this is at their home, big turnout. They actually have a Max Verstappen grandstand for
Thumbs
all of the
down.
people. And tons of orange smoke because
Yeah.
Netherlands is the orange. And which is interesting come the start of the race because, man, it almost looked like it was pretty tough to see there. But, one of the things that to start off the race, or to start off the weekend, the FIA was really focused on track limits. And what they mean by that is where the drivers do not go beyond the white line on the edge of the track. Because you can do that because there's runoff room, and then you run into
Right.
curbs in some places. But they're really, and then that became kind of a theme the whole weekend because they were constantly calling drivers in after practice sessions and qualifying
Yeah.
for like, hey, you guys went over, you went over it. They got a couple of whiffs before they, basically kind of got, they got in trouble.
Because they get like 3, right? Is it basically like 3? Like at the third one, you start getting penalized, right? Is that what
During
it
the
was?
race, during the practice,
Okay.
during the practice and qualifying, you lose a lap, but big deal, you lost a lap, doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Qualifying, though, there were people that were losing their laps in qualifying because they went over the line. They immediately just lose their lap.
Was
Now
it
they also
Alonso that happened to? I'm forgetting who that was.
it happened to him, and I want to say maybe Albon. Albon might have been able to get out of like Q1 if
I think so. Yeah.
if he hadn't lost his lap. And I want to say maybe Vettel lost a lap, and I don't think it
Yeah,
mattered.
Vettel was pretty far back. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been. He could have been one of the ones too. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. Even my memory's and I didn't go to Vegas.
There you go.
So, but yeah, so that was a recurring theme through the whole weekend was that. But it pretty much looked like Red Bull had the pace for the weekend, especially in practice. Max won the pole on Friday because it was a sprint race. So you had a Friday qualifying session. Max was first, Ferrari second and third. And then in the sprint race, which is oddly enough going to set the grid, so you could have one of these situations which I know the commentators on F1 just love to kind of rib the FAA on it. It's like, okay, Max could win the pole, but he could not start first, but he possibly won't start first.
Right.
In the race, even though he's the pole sitter.
Right.
Which to all normal racing terminology and people makes no sense.
Right.
Pole means you start first. That is what pole position means.
Right.
You're the first one up there.
Right.
So, but luckily Max won the sprint, so he was on the pole as the pole sitter because he won the sprint. And again, Ferrari first and second. The all weekend long, they'd been able to hide it, but Red Bull was having problems with tire wear. Basically, they were burning their tires up faster than everybody else was. But in practice, it doesn't really matter. In qualifying, it didn't really matter. Sprint race was just long enough were they able to get through without a problem, but they were getting slowed down. They were slowing down. Max was slowing down at the end, and Ferrari was catching up to him. So come the race, Max had to pit first before the Ferraris, and they basically, because they were able to run longer, they were able to jump him and basically pass him. And actually, Sainz was about ready to pass him and push him back to third when his engine went, and the official term, I believe, is kablooey.
Yeah, yeah, that was tough.
Engine went kablooey.
That was tough, and I mean, you could like see or hear the frustration in Sainz too, because Sainz was absolutely going to pass Max. Like Max was hanging on for dear life, and you could even like hear it in the radio too. He's just like, I got nothing at this point. And Charles, and like oddly enough too, right? Leclerc had some issues there at the end as well, right? Didn't he have? I forget.
Really, he was a little concerned about with noises and about what had happened. Am I liable to? It's like, okay, don't push it, just bring the car home, But yeah, that was a pretty comprehensive one. There's some guesstimates that it was a turbocharger. Ferrari won't comment, just like, yeah, we had an engine failure. Thank you very much. We already knew that.
Right.
But I think it's a turbocharger because they seem to be I saw a technical breakdown that said turbochargers are susceptible, especially on the Ferrari, in two situations. One, when it's a flat out speed track, like we'll run into in Imola in a couple weeks, or in Monza for Italy. But this isn't really a speed track, but it's also at elevation. It's about 600 meters, or about, I guess it'd be about 2,000 in US numbers, about 2,000 feet high, which to anybody who lives in the West is a joke.
Right.
But for them, that's a high track. I mean, they run a lot of these tracks near sea level, if not at sea level, like Monaco. This week we're on the French Riviera coast. Spain is very close to the sea. Miami is obviously right on the sea.
Right.
So a lot of these tracks are run at sea level. So this one is actually one of the elevated tracks of the year, and that trying to compress the air with a turbocharger can put extra stress on it. And Ferrari, as we've seen, just may have a turbocharger problem as it is.
Right.
Because they're over their limits already. They're working on their fourth or fifth engines right now, and they're only allotted 3. That's why Charles had penalties back in the previous, or back before Austria.
Yeah. It feels like, thinking of the results of the race, right? So Ferrari goes 1, Red Bull goes 2, right? But they didn't.
And Lewis on the podium.
And Lewis on the podium, right? So Lewis first podium, right? Is his first
I believe
podium?
his first podium of the year, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
But it's funny. I feel like Ferrari has kind of, shot themselves in the foot with some strategy over the course of, the last couple months. But then even when they have put themselves in the right position, they've gotten pretty unlucky as well. Like that should have been an easy 1-2 for them this week. And I guess maybe just call it fair because the Perez had an issue as well. People saying second podium for Lewis this year. All right. There you go.
Sorry, my bad. Okay.
I
know Russell's pulled quite a few podiums. Not quite a few, but a few podiums already.
But it felt like this was going to be a week. Like as you're watching the race, you're like, oh, he's absolutely catching Max. They're going to go 1-2. All of a sudden, Ferrari's going to shoot themselves back up. And then just got a little unlucky. And now they're, they gained what did they gain? Like 6 points or something like that. Like it wasn't really I
think it was 6 or 7, but that's been their Achilles heel, has been their engine. When it finishes, they do well. When it doesn't finish, then they don't do well. And that's
right.
And that's why they're behind in the constructors, is they've had a hard time getting 2 cars to the checkered flag.
Yeah.
Where now Red Bull had that early on, and they kind of seem to have worked through it. And though they did have a problem with with Perez this week, but
right. It also speaks to how strong, and I don't like Max, but how strong Max and Red Bull has been. Like for them to have as many issues as they had, and he still finished second is pretty impressive. Again, he probably would have finished third if Sainz didn't go blammo, as you said, or kablooey. But yeah, they're impressive that he even held on for second.
Yeah, no, he did. It was because of Sainz's problem that he basically, like you said, did finish third. But second, they do need to look at why were they having the tire wear problems,
right?
And we'll have to take a look if that's going to come up again this week. Though it's a different type of track this week, so we'll have to see how that is. Mick got 6th. Mick Schumacher 6th.
Mick had a great race.
Finish.
He had a really good race.
Yeah, he was really strong. He was really strong in the sprint. He was almost able to get by Lewis in the sprint. So that was pretty strong too for him.
And there were a couple of times too, like after pits, that it looked like Mick was going to fall back too. Like he'd fall back to 11th or 12th, and you're like, okay, we'll see if he can actually fight back. But he raced really strong that entire time. It was pretty impressive. And because there were so many, I think it was 6 through 11 basically were all jammed up for a lot of the race. That was really fun watching them battle back and forth. And there's some really sharp driving.
Yeah, it really got spaced out there once you got beyond, I think, fourth or fifth.
Right.
Um, then they had that big, they call those DRS trains, where
Yeah.
basically everybody's within a second. So the DRS doesn't do any good because you've got it, the guy behind you's got it, the guy behind you's
Right.
got it. So you're all just basically, yeah, congratulations, you're all just going a little bit faster, but not fast enough to pass anybody because everybody's got it.
Right. Right.
And the guy in front's usually a sitting duck because he's the one that doesn't have it if he's not within a second of somebody in front. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, those things happen, and unfortunately, people they don't really add to the racing spectacle.
Right.
But and they're looking at trying to do something about it, but we'll see what eventually come up with. But
Do,
yeah, but they do run into those quite often.
do you think that this next season, or I guess the current season being filmed of Drive to Survive, it's going to be the first time we get Gunther like celebrating?
Quite possibly. I mean, he used to, or he did before when they were actually, they
Right.
weren't that bad like 5 years ago.
Right.
It's just in the last few years in last year, they just basically chucked it to basically focus on the new season. But
See,
yeah, I'm sure there'll be F bombs aplenty.
right.
Next year
Well,
they'll have to be beeped out.
we're used to angry F bombs, and now we might get some happy F bombs.
Yes. I'm sure he goes both ways with the F bombs.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
sure he does. I'm sure he does.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, it'd be interesting. I mean that could be an episode is,
Mm,
mixed first points. I mean, that'd be a good episode.
I
You
think
have to
so.
figure out how the season plays out because
Yeah.
they've got what 21 races to put into 10 or 12, depending on how many weeks
Right.
episodes they do. So you
Right.
have to see because they usually are, from what I remember, is they're thematic. They seem to be not necessarily one team, but some sort of a theme that they'll maybe go multi races on, not just one race at a time on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
I got to catch up. I haven't watched. I think I watched last year's one. That just came out
Oh,
in April yet.
God, I love it. I love it so much.
I usually
Um,
have to wait till I go to my friends. I'm not a Netflix guy, so be it.
Listen, respect it. I respect it. Hey, there's one thing I was looking at the notes that you sent over, which again,
Yeah.
you can't get enough credit for firing notes over ahead of time. I appreciate that so much because my brain is fried come Friday. There was one bit of news that I remember seeing that I actually thought had already happened, but I guess it officially happened. And if it's on here, I apologize. But I think it's the FIA director. Was it the race director? Somebody who,
Oh yeah,
and he left, right? He's like
yeah.
officially gone now. And he did.
Separated from the FIA. Yeah, Massey left. Yeah, it was between the two races, I believe.
Right.
He
Right.
left. Usually with something like that, it wasn't surprising. I mean, they didn't want to make a big thing and just kind of terminate him right there. They probably gave him a 6 month.
Yeah.
They have this phrase. It's not so much for officials, but it's for race people in F1 called gardening leave. Where like if you're a technical person, you want to go to another team, they
Mhm.
basically send you home and they pay you for 9 months so you don't know the latest technology when you show up at Red Bull when Christian hires you away,
Yeah.
or Alpine or Aston Martin when Stroll hires you away.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's been a long-standing practice though. It's like you come in May and say, hey, my contract's up. I'm going to Aston Martin next week. Okay, fine. Go
Okay.
home. You'll earn your year out and
That
don't.
makes
But
that makes more sense because I was wondering. I was like, wow, that seems like a long period of time to come to that decision because I assumed it stemmed from that day, and I was like, did they do like a long investigation and then come to it? But
I think I think they just made him a deal where they just paid him off for 6 months or so.
yeah.
And he travels a lot. He's from Australia. Everything's a long hike for him. I wouldn't be surprised to see at some point if he winds up as maybe the head of their supercar series down there.
Mhm.
They have a very big touring car series down there where they run, and also they have a big V8 series they call it down there
Okay.
with their cars. In fact, there's a guy in IndyCar right now that came out of that
Oh wow.
series. Yeah,
Wow.
and but it's very very popular. Or I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a senior position with the Australian GP organizing committee too.
Yeah. Or Red Bull, right? The way that he
Oh, Mike! Ouch, man!
Sorry, I was saving that.
Bitter call on line one. Bitter call on line one.
Which is funny because I'm not really a Lewis Hamilton fan. I mean, I'm not a Lewis Hamilton fan, but I've never. It's not like I root for Merck, so I didn't really want them to win.
Yeah,
either,
no, but yeah, I can. It's not a completely it's not a completely. It doesn't have some merit, you might say.
right, right,
It did seem to go the way of Verstappen
yeah,
and
just a little.
Red Bull. So
Just a little.
I really wish it could have gone better. I mean, it could have ended better than that, or at least not under that cloud.
Right.
It's always going to be one of those things
Like what if?
where, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, we could do a whole episode on what happened in that race.
Right, right.
And I'm sure they probably did on Drive to Survive. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He did.
I
It was
imagine that
great.
was probably a whole episode at the end because
It
yeah,
was
it's
pretty good. It's pretty
yeah,
good.
it's really rare when you get a situation where you get everyone tied coming into the last race where literally winner takes all. There's no other way around it.
Right.
Whoever won that race was going to be provided that one of the two of them won, was going to be the
Right.
champion.
And to
So,
come down to the last lap and everything. I
but
mean, it was awesome.
yeah, I mean he'll land somewhere. He's got too much talent and experience.
Yeah.
Even though they did have the problem with this, I mean the whole reason he's even there. I don't know if you know the background of how he wound up with the job.
Mm-mm.
There was a guy that Charlie Whitehead or Charlie Whitehead, yeah, was the race director for many, many years, and Mossy was his protege. Unfortunately, about 4 years ago, at the Australian GP of the first race season, Charlie Whiting, not Whiting, they went in. He didn't show up one day. They went in. They found him dead in his hotel room. He died of a heart attack in
Wow.
like 60 or
Oh,
mid
that's right.
60s.
I did hear this story. That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
and so he was like the heir apparent. But he really didn't have all the time yet. He'd only been there a couple of years. They expect him to be there like 5, 7 years. Charlie was going to retire in a few, maybe 3, 4 more years, but not at that point. So he
Right.
kind of got thrust into the job at that point. And I don't think he was bad. I just think that there were some unfortunate decisions. Also, that thing last year which they don't do this year because of that, where they basically put the radio up and the teams can on TV yell
Oh,
at the
yeah.
race director and stuff.
I mean, that's like Jacob handling questions during the Top
Yeah,
Shot Spaces. Like that is a nightmare.
yeah. Except he's got like a billion viewers instead of
Right.
27 or something.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they've changed it because of that. That didn't go over well. I mean, there's transparency, then there's transparency.
Right. Right.
So, and
That's
that
the
just
way to
didn't go
do
over
it.
that well with it. But yeah, no, that's a good point to bring up. Also, there had been some, as we wrap up Austria, there was also some, and they never went into detail what it was, but there were some reports of incidents where people were harassed,
Yeah. There was a lot of like
either
racist or sexist stuff
racist or
happening.
sexual harassment things. They would never say what exactly, like, they called someone up, blah, blah, blah. They
Right.
just referred to it. And then there was, Max spoke out about it, Vettel, because Vettel is very active in these things.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure Lewis made a statement about it. So it's really interesting too, because, a lot of the times the Max fans kind of have a bad reputation
Right.
that they're very homerish when it comes to him.
Right.
And it's kind of pretty much like the Lewis fans I mean, they're pretty loyal too, but it seems like the Max fans take another level of loyalty.
Yeah, I think too, like just I mean, it's one of those things where if they have the inclination of that kind of behavior or something like that, and then you then fuel them with alcohol,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and not as an excuse. I'm just saying that like brings
sure.
that out, that brings that energy out, and it's never good. I was glad it was being talked about though. It seemed like
Yeah,
as it came up on the broadcast, I saw it was all over Twitter that morning. I'm glad it was just being addressed in some fashion.
yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially when we get to the Dutch Grand Prix,
Mhm,
because
mhm.
not many Lewis supporters, I'm pretty sure, at the Dutch Grand
I
Prix.
don't think so. I do
Yeah, I
not
think
think
I was
so.
pretty sure a pretty solid Max crowd.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you said, they lost some points, but we move along. Um, it's funny because like you were talking about, how bad Red Bull had been doing earlier in the year, especially with Max. And he was looking like, oh, this is a lost season. We're down like 43 points at one point. Now
Right.
they're up like 37 or 36
I,
points.
I know.
So yeah, so I mean, it's interesting, but we could go the same way. What happens? If Ferrari's got a handle on it, and if they have better tire, if we go through the summer with hot summers, if they can keep their tires from wearing better, it'll be interesting what happens this week and coming up. And this week we have the French Grand Prix.
It's funny to, I didn't think about it until I saw it in your notes, but the fact that like the weather, especially in Europe right now, is bonkers hot. And
Yeah,
like my first, 50 thoughts aren't like, oh, that's going to affect the tires. But,
I understand.
no, but I didn't put that together. And if that's something that Red Bull's already struggling with, I mean, it's just going to throw another
Yeah.
wrench into it,
One thing that's come up is one of the questions, or one thing they've been discussing, is the porpoising and the changes that they're going to make to it. They basically, and also one of the things that they had been brought, and I think Merck might have brought this, and if I'm wrong, I apologize for blaming Merck, but
Mhm.
it had been brought to the FIA's attention by regardless of who had done it, that some of the teams' floors, that some of the teams that were not having porpoising problems had floors that might have been somewhat flexible. There are very stringent FIA regulations on how floors can't flex. I mean, that's
Right,
basically
right.
the rule. they're measured at various points. There were some teams that have been accused of basically legally passing the tests at those points, but not at other points on the floor. And so they basically had floors that flexed at other points that weren't being measured by the FIA.
Okay.
And so the FIA said, okay, fine. Then they were originally going to do it in Austria. Then they moved it back to France. Now they moved it back to Belgium, where they're going to do more tests after the summer break. The FIA said, well, because of supply chain problems, i.e., getting parts for the teams to stiffen their floors. This is the one I think we talked about last time where Ferrari has said, Bonato said that they are definitely going to have to stiffen their floor. Christian, of course, was very stoic and said, "Nope, floor's fine. I'm not going to make any changes on it.
Right.
Don't care what the tests are. We're going to pass." Never know with Christian whether he's bluffing and they're frantically working in the factory to stiffen the floor, or if he's legit and they really don't have to.
Yeah.
But they're one of the teams that were looked at or pointed at as, you guys have no purposing problems. Is it because you're kind of bending the regulations? And there's an old line in Pirelli tires.
Yeah, that's sorry.
Who's last tire? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was Pirelli the ones that were pointing it? Okay, could be. Don't know. There's an old line in NASCAR. Is basically it says, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Basically, it means you're pushing the regular. These are very, very smart people.
Right.
You get these jobs because you're incredibly smart and you find very creative ways to solve problems. Some of them may be within the bounds of the regulations. Some of them may be in the very gray areas of the regulations. And until you find a gray area and get it defined, you will push that opportunity because it may be something that, either they didn't think about in the regulations or they thought about it and said, okay, we'll give them some creative space here. We'll see what people come up with. We'll see what kind of creativity they have. Because it was funny with last year when they previewed the new cars for this year, they have this car they put out at the British GP. That was what the FIA said. This is what we think the cars are going to look like. And they thought the cars are going to be pretty much all the same. They thought every car was going to look almost the same. When we got to practice to the preseason, they looked radically different. Everyone had different cars. You had fat side pods and narrow side pods and high cars and low cars and wings or not wings, but the what aerodynamic surfaces they're allowed in different places and stuff. So to see what happens on this, like I said, Belgium will now be the point where they're going to measure the floors in multiple different spots. And also they're looking at implementing for 2023 some more regulations, which is upset. Let's see, what was it? Red Bull, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and Williams, which is interesting. If you look at it, I'm surprised AlphaTauri's on there because they're another Red Bull team. If you look at Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Ferrari engine, Haas, Ferrari engine. Williams is the lone standout because they're the only Merc engine team in there.
Right.
And their basic argument is, well, wait a minute, guys. Okay, we're doing it this year because you're saying it's safety. But is this really a safety issue, or is this just because you're trying to, you're trying to fix this? I don't know where this came from, but someone implied that maybe you're trying to favor Mercedes. Christian, don't really know if that happened or not. But it'll be interesting to see whether the 23 regulations will go forward with these changes, because generally these changes have to go through a long process. And the cars are once you roll a car out, you immediately begin working with a small team on next year's car.
Right.
Next year's cars are pretty well designed, or at least pretty close to being designed. And they're being tested and they're going through wind tunnel and all that stuff.
Right.
And it seems like it's, towards the end of July, they're pretty far down the path on that. And making changes like this could be pretty drastic to them at this point in the design process.
Yeah, I would imagine. I'm seeing a question here from Eric, and I know we are about to pivot over to France as well, but he said, did you see Mercedes up and comer today in P1? I don't know if you.
Yeah, they were fourth and fifth, I believe. Some of the post practice interviews with Lewis and George were not as happy as you thought, because they were still close to a second back. It was really interesting as we take a look at what the time differences are between the first few teams. But possibly they were really touted to be a little bit closer to the pack, and I guess they're a little bit closer. But there were some thoughts that maybe they were going to break in and maybe break up, Ferrari, Red Bull type of stuff. There was going to be, maybe Ferrari, Red Bull, Merc or something.
I feel like Mercedes has been doing some of like the hardest driving out there this year, and meaning like it feels like they have to do way more work with the car that they're driving versus like what you're seeing from Red Bull and Ferrari, where it's like, yeah, we just have to, as long as our cars stay on the track, we're probably going to finish first and second. Where like Mercedes, it feels like it's tooth and nail for every single position that they can get. And they both, I mean, it seems like they're projecting well, like moving forward. They're like, oh, wait, Eric too is saying, I was talking about the new guy they rolled out in P1, DeVries.
Oh, DeVries, yeah.
DeVries,
That's
yeah.
part of the FIA Young Driver Program. Each team, I believe, in 2 sessions this year, FP1s have to put a young driver in the car.
Oh, that's fun.
DeVries is the reigning Formula E champion, and he's part of the Mercedes Young Driver Program, or whatever their driver development program is.
That's fun.
So he got this. He already got he already got a time with Williams earlier in the season in FP1. And actually, Alfa Romeo put Kubica in a car in FP1, which is kind of odd because the guy's 40 years old and has been in like, 300 F1 race. I don't know how we qualified as young driver program, but he was in a car too. And I think that might be because he's a reserve driver and the sponsorship dollars he brings for that role, I think entitle him to 1 or 2 FP1 sessions. They buy their way in because of their sponsorship that they bring to the team, in addition to being a test driver.
Now, and those results in already from his drive. I was curious if he or from his.
Yeah, he was 9th in FP1.
Oh, all right.
So, but Russell finished 4th.
Okay.
So he wasn't quite on pace, but he's pretty good. Lewis, interesting that Lewis gave the car up. It wasn't Russell.
Yeah.
I guess Lewis is more experienced, but it was interesting. It's kind of hard to see a 7-time world champion. Oh, I'm sorry, Lewis, you're not going to be driving in this session.
Like, go ahead, young buck. But yeah, to go back to what I was saying too, like, I don't know if that resonated at all, but it does feel like I don't know, like nothing has come easy to Mercedes, and for them to
absolutely not. No. And I would guess if you check the number of hours logged by the technical teams, I'm going to guess Mercedes may be the leader in the pack.
Yeah.
As far as ever, I mean, Red Bull might be, but I'm going to guess those guys have been burning the candles at both ends.
Yeah.
Long days and long nights to try to fix this because, it's kind of like, look, we've been on top for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
We are a group of incredibly intelligent people that seem to be a very effective team in addition to being very smart people, which can be two different things. And it's like they haven't had a technical challenge. So in some ways, they're probably disappointed that they've got these problems. But for some of these guys, they may look at it as a challenge. It's like, okay, we've just been able to be the best every time we go out there, but now we're not. So let's figure out how we can be best again. We haven't had this challenge. This is new. Let's go do it, and let's go figure out how we're going to be the best team again.
If I forget how far back they are in the constructors, but I read, they're a lot. It's not even okay. I was gonna say I would not want them getting in a groove if I was Red Bull or Ferrari. Like just the way that they've been racing, I just feel like they've been two of the best actual racers out there. Or drivers out there, and if their car gets together, like I wouldn't, or if their like team can get it together, I wouldn't be thrilled.
Yeah, but I would probably, postulate. This is one of those ones where you kind of like, what's better, Ford or Chevy type of question.
Right.
I would say they probably have the 2 best drivers as a team on the grid. I mean, yeah, you've got Max, but he's got 7 world titles, and there's pretty good chance that George Russell may be a world champion sometime by the time he hangs up his helmet.
Yeah,
at some point, it's as long as Merck gets back on track, and he's been kind of a talent in waiting and stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously Max, might win another world title. You never think Sergio's going to win a world title. Leclerc might have one by the time he's done. He might be able to finagle one.
I'm sure Ferrari will find a way to flub it up if he's in contention.
Well, yeah, there's that possibility too. Never, ever since Schumacher left, they've had it. It's been kind of a cursed unit, other than the Kimi world title.
Right.
But yeah, it's funny because before that whole regime came along with Schumacher and Ross Brawn and Todt, Ferrari always had been one of those good. I mean, they were a champion team, but they let opportunities go because they were often stumbling amongst themselves.
Yeah.
And it was basically Ross Brawn who basically came up with the thing, and I'm sure this isn't something he invented, but it was basically to finish first, you must first finish.
Yeah.
And Ferrari had a reputation of being fast but not reliable, and his number one goal was to be reliability, and that was a real turning point in F1 for a lot of those cars, not just Ferraris.
Right.
We used to have I remember the Monaco Grand Prix in the late 80s, early 90s, where they had like 6 cars cross the line.
Wow.
at the end. It was in rain and there was a bunch of problems, but there only 6 cars finished. And nowadays we routinely go with one car not finishing. We have 19 out of 20,
Right.
18 out of 20. Man, I think what was it? Britain, because of the big schmaz on the first lap, I think we only had like 15 finishers or something. 'Cause remember we were talking about
Yeah.
what screwy teams can get points today because
Because
of the
of that.
crashes and stuff.
Yeah.
Because Russ will get unlucky with having to park his car and stuff. But yeah, it's warm so getting back to France, it's warm in France. Tire issues. Again, this is a different type of tire issue. This is a very smooth track. Again, why Mercedes-Benz was expected to do better. And again, we've only gone through practice.
Mhm.
We got into qualifying. They could very well be sandbagging, or they could, very well find something overnight that gives them a little bit of an edge. That gets them a little bit farther up. But this is a billiard smooth track. So when you talk about tire wear, you're not talking about wear as in the track sandpapering off the tires. You're just simply talking about heat and the tires getting too hot and literally in a sense melting to where they just become so rubbery that it's like, they won't hold grip anymore and you'll burn the tires up. So that's going to be the problem this week. Everyone's still running softs, and you'll see the softs obviously in qualifying.
Mhm.
But my guess would be is you're probably going to have a hard, medium or medium to hard type of race setup.
That makes sense.
I don't know, even with the heat, if they may have to go medium hard or medium hard or something like that. We'll see how that pans out. But I would be surprised unless you have someone who's going to come in with a couple laps left to try to snag a fastest lap at the end of the race. Too many red tires showing up in the track. Now who knows? It may cool down by Sunday, and then I may look like an idiot. So you never
It doesn't seem
never
like
really
it's gonna
know.
cool down by Sunday.
But yeah, this is an interesting track. It's a paperclip shaped, so it's basically long with a couple of chicanes thrown in, and then a couple of tight turn or not semi-tight turns at each end of the track. Not too far from the French coast, so it'll be a little bit cooler. You can have coastal influences. Sometimes you'll also get thunderstorms there because the clouds will back up against the mountains and start precipitating. So Mercury brought upgrades. AlphaTauri's brought upgrades, and McLaren's brought upgrades. Yes, Merc has brought some big upgrades. They're really there were some of the pre-race stuff I saw. They were a lot of engineers with smiles at Merc this week, which hasn't something they've really seen in a long, this year out of the Mercedes teams or out of the Mercedes engineers. McLaren's also got some upgrades, and they moved up into, I think they were 5th and 7th, which is better for them.
Nobody needs good news more than McLaren right now. I feel like
Danny Rick maybe.
Oh man, even it's bad when he's gonna be when he's like, "No, guys, I'll be here next year. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, no, actually, that's one of the things I forgot to mention. Yeah, he put out a tweet, stating that I'm not going anywhere. I'll be back, and it was like, okay, it was just kind of an odd thing, I mean, he does stuff like that, but it's kind of like, wow, that's a pretty positive statement. I mean, that's a pretty solid statement.
I think it was because is it Will Buxton? Is that the name? Will
Yeah,
Buxton?
yeah, he's the
So I think
F1
he had
guy.
put out a tweet earlier in the week that basically was just like McLaren's got some decisions to make in its near future or something along those lines that was interpreted that like, oh, maybe Danny's not coming back. And I think that like went nuts and everyone so that Ricardo felt like he needed to say something, or even McLaren probably was like, hey man, can you just tweet this out, please? Like, so we can like shut everybody up.
Well, there was some strange stuff on the McLaren side on both the F1 and the IndyCar team where there was a driver that basically his team said he's with the same team as Dixon is, Ganassi Racing, and they said, "Oh no, we're going to retain him for next year because we have the option on his contract." Next day he says, "No, I'm not. I'm going over to McLaren," and McLaren made a statement, and it was interesting because it wasn't McLaren IndyCar, it was McLaren F1.
Right,
said that they had signed, they own the McLaren IndyCar team, but they said that they'd signed Alex Palou to the for 2023, and it was
there another team that also said they signed him?
Ganassi said they had kept his option.
Oh, I thought they were okay. That's what it was. I thought there was two F1 teams.
No, not that I know of. No, there might have been, but I missed that. As far as I know,
probably what it was. I probably misread the.
So between that and of course there's the Colton Herta rumor. I mean rumors, but and because he's going to get a test. He already did. I also think he did a test at Portimao, which was where they've run some Portuguese Grand Prix and a lot of endurance car racing. They did a test with McLaren did a test with a 2-year-old car, and they put him in the car for a day. I don't know. They didn't give any results about how he did, but that was his first shot at an F1 test.
That's
My
great.
guess would be, because I don't know if they've already signed somebody or if they've already announced they're going to put somebody in. Usually after the Abu Dhabi race at the end of the year, the Monday is another young driver session, and they'll
Okay.
do it for everybody can run a car if you put a young driver in it.
That's fun.
And he might be, Herta might be in that, or someone else might be, or maybe it'll be Pelot now. I don't know. I don't think they've announced those yet because it's still 6 months out.
Sorry, Eric had a good comment here. He says, to be fair, I don't trust Zach Brown for anything. Wouldn't surprise me if we wake up one morning and
Wow.
Ricardo's working at my local go-kart track.
But Eric, how do you really feel about
I
him?
know. We already know Ricardo will be like on Fox Sports News or like ESPN. Ricardo's gonna do just fine after after all's said and done.
Oh yeah, remember he's got that. Remember he's the only. Yeah, and he's the only. He's represented not by a manager. Okay, he's represented by CAA, Creative Artists.
Yeah.
Associates, which is a Hollywood, a Hollywood talent agency.
Yeah.
And nobody else is like that. He gave up his representation a couple years ago to sign with CAA. So that's really out of line. I mean, not out of line. That's really different. So
right?
Yeah. He's got a career. It sounds like lined up long after he hangs the helmet up.
He's gonna be, he really is like one of the most charismatic and engaging.
Oh, he is. He's one of the funniest guys and the most interesting guys and most personable guys in the paddock. Absolutely.
Yeah, he just sucks right now.
Yeah, no, it is unfortunate, and then that's the interesting thing is like, it's a tough life doing this stuff. You travel a lot. You're putting in long hours. You're away from home a lot. I remember like he didn't get to see his family, his parents for like over a year.
Yeah, it's not
because of the COVID lockdowns in Australia. Once he had left, he couldn't go back. It might have even been longer than that.
I think it was. I think it was a little longer.
Yeah, it might have almost been 2 years since the COVID thing started that he couldn't go back to Australia. He had very strict lockdown policies and stuff like that. Makes him wonder. It's like, I'm getting paid a lot of money to do this, but I can make probably a fair amount of money, in the entertainment industry. It's a lot more, it's a lot more glamorous, but it's probably, better hours. I don't have to worry about, performance just means I show up and do something. I don't have to worry about a car or mechanic.
I'm sure a lot of people have this take, Eric. I do. I feel like if you don't like Ricardo, you're probably like, he's a little too.
No, he can be. Yeah. No, he can be a little over the top. Yeah. But I think he just does that because he's just mucking for the camera. There's a real interesting clip I saw last night of him where they have like 3 minutes of Danny Ricardo in the paddock. Yeah. And some of it's really over the top. It was like, there's some really crazy stuff he says on some of those clips. He's singing a song about his genitals. Let's just put it that way.
Great.
Yeah, it was very interesting. While there's a woman PR person in the car, it's like, yikes! I'm not sure that would have gone over that well. I think it was a few years ago, luckily. But
yeah,
go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say Danny. No, but that I also think like the success of Drive to Survive probably isn't as big if it wasn't for him, right? Like I think it's the show's evolved now where like there's so many more characters, and I think because of how successful like he was on the show, like other racers are now like, Lewis, right? Lewis didn't do the first season and then saw like how it was received. He's like, all right, put the camera on me. I'll take.
Well, I think Max didn't do the first season or two.
So Max ended up not doing the most recent season.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay,
because he was like, I want to focus on racing, and then Christian was like, don't you worry, Max, I got you covered.
Yeah. Max, you know what? I'll take your screen time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
No problem. Problem.
I think, I wonder if he's getting media lessons from Jerry Hallwell, from the wife. Right, because, she's obviously experienced media, but he's been around. It's funny because he was the youngest team manager when he started.
Right.
He is the most tenured team manager. And I think he is still the youngest team manager. One of the new Williams managers might have been younger than he is.
Okay.
But it's really kind of a unique spot. He was like 33 when he got that job. Yeah. When Red Bull called him up and said, "Hey, you want to run our new team?"
Wow. Now I totally forgot to do this as I was looking at the show notes too. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for our fantasy too, if you want it, because I think you still have like 12 hours to join or something like that. If you want to lock.
Yeah, please sign up.
Dropping that in the chat right now.
Yeah, I had a horrible couple weeks. I screwed up. I forgot about what's the mega driver or whatever it is where you get 2 of those every 6 or 2 of those per half or one per half 2 a year. Completely skipped it because I was looking at yours. I'm going, how the hell did he get 120 points when I only got 60? And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Is there that super bonus thing? And man.
You know what I've messed up? I've been playing Pierre Gasly each week, and he really has been tough.
Yeah, but this week, yeah, he was good at the start. This week, maybe because they've got some upgrades at Red Bull or at AlphaTauri.
Yeah, the only
So
good move
maybe
I've kept Alonso and Ocon in there, and they've performed pretty
Ocon
well
more
this
so
year.
than Alonso. Yeah, I've had
Yeah.
Alonso. It was funny. I jumped off of Haas right about the time they started scoring points, which was
Mm-hmm.
solid move there.
Solid
Solid
move.
move.
Sharp,
Yeah.
sharp.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to this week, and
Yeah.
then we can wrap up. What else we got going on?
Sure. Talk about the heat. This is the 300th GP for Lewis Hamilton,
Oh, that's right.
which is interesting because there are about 5 or 6 drivers. Kimi Räikkönen is one. Schumacher was one that have done. Fernando's done 300 GPs. No
Mhm.
driver has won a race after the 300 or their 299th GP.
Wow.
So it'll be interesting to see if this is going to be a curse on Lewis or if he's going to be able to kind of bypass it and win again at some point, especially since Merck looks like they're on the upswing
Yeah.
this year so far. So FP1. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just
What was
gonna
the
share.
question?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna share something. Yeah, Eric. So we've been doing this the Friday before. Oh, actually, it's almost been every Friday, but the Friday before an F1 race. We also did this two races ago. We
Mhm.
fired up playback and
British Grand Prix. Yeah.
yeah, the British. That's right. And we watched it together. So every time we can find a race that's like, not gonna get us up at like 2 in the morning or 5 in the morning to watch. We'll mess around with playback again. So stay tuned to that. But yeah, we have a channel in the Discord in there too, Eric. So yeah, come hang.
Yeah, of course, the first one we do starts off with an hour delay
Oh
after
my
the
God.
crash, so we're sitting there filling for an hour.
I remember when that ended, I like didn't hit me, but when it ended, we stopped the playback. I went to get some water. I was like, that went on for like 3.5
Yeah,
hours. What the
same
hell
thing. I didn't realize.
happened?
It was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
how long we'd been here for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So FP1, Leclerc, Verstappen, and Sainz. And the thing I said earlier was kind of odd is oftentimes you can see a second separate the first 10 drivers.
Hmm.
This is a little longer track, but it's not, it's not one of the longest tracks.
Yeah.
And a second is separating the top 5 drivers. That's the thing about Merck. Merck was 4th and 5th, but they're still close to a second back. So while they're closer in positions, I'm not really sure how much time they've grabbed back this week.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how qualifying pans out, whether they're still tuning these upgrades because all these times these things are very track specific. So I got to see what's going on with them. Let's see. Like I said, De Vries was 9th.
Hmm.
Max said they found it a little difficult out there because the heat again fits their tire problems. The Merc drivers were not quite what they expected. They thought they'd be a little higher up, a little closer time wise. I mean, they did gain some, but not quite as much as they thought. But again, let's see what they can tune in.
Let me ask you this though: when is the
Yeah.
last time after any sort of qualifying or practice that Merck has been happy? I feel like I've only heard them at like Lewis being like, you know what, this car sucks, guys, and then he goes out and wins. So
Well, Lewis is the eternal perfectionist,
yeah,
which is why he's won 7 world titles,
right.
and that's why
Makes
how you
sense.
get there. But yeah,
Makes
but
sense.
you're right though. Especially this year, he's been complaining, and he's been 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th.
Right,
When he
right.
complains. When he's been unhappy before, when he's been on pole or been second,
Yeah.
oh, there's still a little more in the car. We haven't gotten everything out of the car, type of thing. That's the kind of stuff now you hear from Max saying, "Well, yeah, we're on pole, but we didn't get everything out of it."
Yeah, I'm sure it
Um,
makes the technicians happy.
yeah, but they're probably all watching it or getting their ice cream break or something.
That's true too.
So in FP2, Sainz, Leclerc, so Ferrari 1, 2, Verstappen 3. So
Mhm.
same 3 drivers, just shuffle a little differently. Again, the thing is, the estimates are Ferrari qualifying or Ferrari practice pace, qualifying pace probably,
Mhm.
Red Bull race pace probably, though that didn't pan out in Austria, obviously. So again, we'll have to see. Again, this is going to come down to tires, how the tire wear. We may not know that until the actual race. One of the things that is interesting, it wasn't a problem as far as getting out to actually do laps.
Mhm.
But Red Bull guys in both FP1 and FP2 ran the fewest number of laps. Now in FP2 they were tied. Max ran 19 laps, and I think a couple other drivers ran 19. But in the other session they ran 16 and 17. Like the lowest after that was like 19 or 20.
Do you think that is covering up tire issues that they might be having?
Well, it could be covering up tiring issues. It could be they don't want to put mileage on the engine.
Hmm.
Or it could be that they were confident enough that they found out what they needed to find out, and they were good with the results and didn't need to put, they kind of like put the car in the box and said, okay,
Yeah.
we're fine. We're not number 1, but we know why we're not number 1, and we'll fix it.
Good
We'll
to
get
go.
one more session Saturday morning before
I love
qualifying.
that as a flex that they're just like 5 laps in, like we're good, we're ready to go.
Yeah. I don't know if they would do it or at times Mercedes would do it years ago when they were really dominating, and they would just go out there, run a couple up. Yep, we're good. I've seen it done in Indy cars too, where they're basically they'll get ready for practice and yep, they run 3 laps. Everyone else will be around pounding around for 20, 25 laps. Nope, we're good. We know what we got. Sometimes
Yeah.
it pans out. Sometimes it blows up on them because conditions change or something happens from day to day. So we'll have to see. Qualifying, I think, goes off at 7 a.m. tomorrow. I want to say
Okay.
Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Same for Sunday as well.
The race I think starts
10?
at 6.
Oh, it's 6. Okay.
Yeah, I think the race starts at 6. That's a little too early for
Yeah.
for playback on my end.
No.
Fine for you. 9 o'clock on your end. So
Yeah, I think we might just enjoy it.
okay, fair enough.
Let's you got any predictions for Sunday?
Well, boy. Let's go with Leclerc,
Okay.
Max, and because we're in France, Ocon third.
Ooh, Ocon third's nice. Do you have Leclerc on the pole too?
No, I think Max will take the pole, but Leclerc will pass him because Ferrari will manage the tires better.
I like that. I'm gonna go. Where did you have Max? Do you have Max second?
Max second.
All right, I'm gonna no Red Bull on the podium because I'm gonna go aggressive with the tires. The tires was like a real problem.
Could be.
So I'm gonna go Leclerc. I'm gonna go Lewis second, and then Sainz third. So Ferrari's gonna go 1-3.
That'll put a dent in Max's lead. It'll put a dent in the Red Bull. Red Bull Constructors lead too.
The thing is, none of these predictions, my predictions aren't any good. This is me just like trying to get Red Bull off the podium. Has nothing to do with Max or Sergio either. I like both of them. I don't really like Max. Sergio, I do like, but Christian being interviewed as often as he does, I just hate it. I can't do it.
So you're not going to start the Christian Horner fan club, huh?
No. We're gonna Toto. We're gonna manage the Toto Totes or whatever.
The Toto fan club. Yeah. So are you putting any? Are you making any prop bets on this?
You know what? Let's look at Underdog. I've been doing the DraftKings lineups on that I really enjoy doing. I really enjoy that, and because I like trying to figure out like managing a salary cap, kind of like how we have to do with ours. And
with the F1,
what cheap guy do you? And it's always Albon. Albon's always the one that gets thrown in. But if we, let's go over to Pick'ems and let's find some racing. It's usually under, right? Is that how they do it? Yeah, there it is. So here we go. So this is for this will be for qualifying because the qualifying's not up yet. So actually, let's do a qualifying one. I normally don't. So we got Sergio is at 4.5, Leclerc 1.5, which is tough because I mean you basically is he pole or is he not? Sainz at 4, Lewis at 4, Russell at 5, Lando 6.5. I kind of like Lando this week.
You could sneak into 5th.
Yeah. Ricardo,
Danny might be 8 or 9.
Listen, Danny has burned me in every single one of these. So Danny is being left off my sheet. I went in the last one. I wonder if we can, let me see if I can find this. I was hoping this one. Look at this. So this was brutal. This was for $500. Max Verstappen, a fastest lap. Latifi over 17. Finally get that Latifi over. Mick under 10.5. Ocon under 7.5. Sainz led 1 lap. 1 lap, and I had the under. I didn't think Sainz was going to win.
For 1 whole lap, oh my gosh.
That's it.
Oh, that blows.
Brutal. Brandon saying Sainz has a 10-place grid penalty. Okay.
Yeah, they had to change units because after he basically fried the engine. That's right. I forgot about that.
Right.
Yeah, they have to change electrical unit because once it became barbecued, it was no longer working.
So I'll do Lando under 6.5. I could see him finishing.
So the under means that he's going to qualify better than 6th, right?
Yeah, 6 or better. Okay. Better than 7. As long as he's better than 7, he's good to go. I don't know. How do we feel about the Haas boys? Are they still cooking, or is this not good? Is this not a good race for them?
This hasn't been as good a race as Austria's been for them so far.
All right. Well, Yuki, what about Yuki? I feel like I need a good Yuki race. We haven't had one in a while. He's 14.5. Let me blow this up a little bit.
I guess he's changed psychologists or something. They were saying.
Same.
So they brought in a psychologist for him last year, and they changed it or something recently. He's hoping the new one. Yeah, it starts at 6:55.
All right. All right. I'm gonna throw Lando. What else can we throw in there besides Lando? Do we like?
Like I said, I would. Yeah, I know you get burned by Danny, but I would say
Yeah.
Danny Rick. I would say Danny
Under 10?
Yeah, I
So
think Danny
9th?
Rick's going to be under 10. I think it'll be 8 or 9th.
Okay. And then where's
So,
Latifi at? I feel like we can find Latifi
oh
just
gosh.
can I
Oh
just
man.
18.5 is
Oh,
tough. So
that's harsh.
that's true. All right. Eric's giving me Mick 12.5. So you're saying the under? You're saying the under on Mick?
Yeah, well, yeah, what are you saying? Yeah, which way are you going on that one?
I'm assuming he means under. So I'll wait till he confirms. But I like rooting for him. I don't know why I like rooting for Mick. Maybe because he just had such a bad start, and it
Well,
felt
he could
both.
be such a great talent because of his father and all those
Yeah,
things. Everyone likes to see sons of famous drivers do well because
yeah.
well, actually, not even say they traditionally don't, but occasionally they do. Most of the time, they don't.
All right, so we're gonna do 10 to win
Damon Hill
60
did.
here. If you guys are new, if this underdog thing is new to you, you can sign up for underdog. I'll drop a link and this will actually, you know what I'll do? I'll submit it and then I'll share this link into the chat, and then you can either fade me or follow me. And then if you throw promo code HOLD HOLD, that gets you a deposit bonus too. So go
Oh,
ahead and
cool.
use that.
I'm not sure we can do this in California yet. We've actually got a big referendum on the
Oh,
ballot
really?
in November for allowing sports gambling in California.
Hopefully that comes through. I like
Yeah,
underdog is so fun. I really enjoy. I mean, of course, I enjoy using it. They're a sponsor,
yeah.
but James, man, I always appreciate how much time and thought you put into this. I really enjoy doing it with you, man. So I'm glad we were able to fire this up again this week. Anything we should send people to go see? Any plugs to
Nope,
throw out there into the
nope.
world?
I'm just a plugless guy.
Do it for the love of the game,
Buy
baby.
up the moment. Buy up the moments that I haven't bought for my players.
There you go.
Bump my Top Shot score.
There you go. Get
So
the TSS up.
outside of that, yeah, exactly. That's about it.
All right. Well, we'll be back. I don't know. We'll probably be back next week, I imagine. I want to get a
Yeah,
couple
well,
of these.
we have a race next week.
We
The
do.
last
Okay.
race before the summer break.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll be back next week, and be excited to see how I screwed up this underdog bet.
Yeah, you're gonna win this one.
Thank you. All right, I'll get you out of here, James. Thanks again,
Mike.
man.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Shout out James again. I can't stress enough how prepared he comes to this, and it makes things so easy. Eric said, is that underdog should be allowed in California? Yeah, Eric said should be able to do underdog. Minnesota, lame, no sports betting state, and we can do DFS like sites. So weird how they pick and choose. We still have a giveaway to do, so let's fire that up too. Again, it is Friday, so hey, just want to say, thanks for hanging out this week. We did, I don't know, how many shows did we do? 5, 7. No, I think we did 9. Did we do 9, 7, 8, something like that? We did a lot of shows this week. So I appreciate everybody hanging around, being active in the Discord, doing all this stuff. I'm going to share that fundraiser one more time, the GoFundMe for our friends over Whirly Bird and Randa Run, just going through the ringer right now, and we are sending good vibes to them. So if you have a little extra in your bank account that you want to throw to some OG team holders, we'd really appreciate that. But again, no pressure. Let's do the giveaway. Hope everybody has a good weekend. We will be back. We will be back on Monday. What else do we have going on? I think that's it. Just Monday, baby. Thanks for hanging out, though. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see who's taking it home. If you win this, shoot me a DM either at Mike Zakarian or in the Discord. Join the Discord. Do all that stuff. Who's it going to? Sandra, we're going to have to give Sandra a jacket soon, like one of those five times award winners. Sandra, shoot me a DM so I can get you a mom. I hope everybody has a good weekend, and we will see everybody on where's my show? There it is. We'll see you on Monday. We out.
Well, the top shot streets